evening. Here is the world news from BGI TV, Baba Agbagede Imo TV. I am Mortuary Rabila Lawal. First are the major headlines for the world news. Buhari to visit Kano after Ganduje's U-turn over economic concerns. There is a general sense of hopelessness under Buhari administration. Obasanjo. Southern Nigeria group asked President Buhari to sack Nigeria Central Bank governor. Brain drain, Nigeria may end up without doctors. NARD. INEC staff caught on tape collecting 1,000 naira to give PVC. DSS arrests syndicates selling new currency notes. Massive protests in Benin City over fuel hike. And the next story, Cørps disappears from Mortuary. Ogun hospital reviews CCTV. And to foreign. 33 killed, 150 injured in Pakistan mosque blast. Finally on sports. Osimhen, same level as Drogba, says Mourinho. Now the news in detail. President Muhammadu Buhari is expected to commission the Dala Inland Dry Port in Kano State on Monday, which is today. This visit follows Governor Umar Ganduje's appeal to the president on Saturday, urging him not to proceed with his scheduled visit to Kano State. Ganduje said the state was deeply concerned about the hardship principally induced by the ongoing cash swap from old to redesigned North. However, hours later, he recanted his position on the premise that the state was prepared to receive him. And to the next story. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has said that President Muhammadu Buhari-led government has divided Nigeria along religious, ethnic and other faults through lopsided appointment against merit and competence. Obasanjo said this during his speech at the 50th anniversary of a federal government college, Kaduna, on Saturday, saying appointments made by Buhari's government have been skewed and lopsided on the basis of nepotism and mediocrity and disregard for merit and competence. He said once again our nation is dancing on the precipice of some of us are truly worried about the state of affairs today. I expressed that worry in my open letter to Nigerians and Nigerian youth on New Year's Day. As I stated in the letter, if we fall prey again, we will have ourselves to blame and no one can say how many more knocks Nigeria can take before it tips over. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. Of course, I pray that Nigeria will never tip over. We must constantly work at it and pray. My worry is premised on a number of issues. First, I'm concerned that the current state of our nation's economy has widened the gulf of inequality and left people and many in despair. Inflation is on the rise, poverty and hardship have returned to many households. The last decade has reversed many of the economic gains that were made in the first decade of the century. There is a general sense of hopelessness across the nation with seemingly uncontrollable insecurity. And to the next story. The coalition of Southern Group, CSG, has called for the sacking of the group's Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited, Mele Kyari, and others who are supposed to ensure the availability of fuel in the country. CSG is the apex coordinating body for the majority of various groups of the Southern Nigeria extraction: Yoruba Council Worldwide, Ohaneze Ndibo Youth Council, Ijo Youth Council, Ishekiri Youth Council, and Niger Delta Ethnic Nationalities Youth Leaders Councils, among others. The group also demanded the removal of the Central Bank Governor, Godwin Emefiele, from office. Ààrẹ Ọba Ọládòtun Azan, chairman of the group, and Mazi Oku Nnabuike, secretary, in a statement accused the duo of having an agenda to scuttle the success of the 2023 general elections, noting especially the setting of major factors that negatively affect ordinary Nigerians and potentially frustrate the patriotic interests concerning the coming elections on fuel, electricity, redesigned narrow notes, withdrawal limits, hike in tuition fees, and a controversial population census, all that have been unjustly struded in scrutiny under the veil of authority of the President, surprisingly without the concurrent input of the National Assembly, respectively. Moving on to the next story. The Nigeria Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, has enjoined the Federal Ministry of Health to expedite action on the one-for-one policy on the replacement of exited doctors and clinical staff to reduce the manpower shortage as a result of brain drain in the country. The association made a call in a communique signed by its president, Dr. Emeka Innocent Oji, on Sunday after its National Executive Council NEC meeting in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. NARD lamented the poor response of most state governments in domesticating the Medical Residency Training Act of 2017, 6 years after it was signed into law. It called on the federal government to urgently start the process of payment of the Medical Residency Training Fund, MRTF, for 2023 to enable its members use the funds for the February update courses and the March, April, May examination. The association asked the federal government to urgently pay the skipping arrears for 2014, 2015, and 2016, as well as the short staff from the consequential adjustment of the minimum wage to deserving members. And to the next story. A video has emerged showing a staff of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, at Eminem Primary School in Enugu State collecting 1,000 naira each from Nigerians before giving them their permanent voters card, PVCs. Politics Nigeria learned that incident happened in Enugu East local government area of the state. Social media users have raised concerns, saying the brazen extortion is a threat to free and fair election in Nigeria. This newspaper report that many Nigerians are collecting their PVCs to enable them to exercise their franchise. On Saturday, INEC extended the collection of the PVC by 1 week. This was disclosed by the National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye. This is the second time the Commission is extending the collection of PVCs since the African country returned to democratic rule in 1999. Next month's election will be the 6th time Nigeria will conduct a general election. Moving on to the next story. The Department of State Services, DSS, on Monday said it has arrested some members of organized syndicates involved in the sale of redesigned Naira notes. A statement by Peter Afunaya, the Secret Police Public Relations Officer, PRO, sent to Politics Nigeria, revealed this. The DSS accused some commercial banks officials of aiding the economic malfeasance. The statement partly reads, in the course of its operations in parts of the country, it was established that some commercial bank officials are aiding the economic menace. Consequently, the service wants the currency recatus to desist from these ignoble acts appropriately. Regulatory authorities are, in the same vein, urged to step up monitoring and supervisory activities to expeditiously address the emerging trends. It should be noted that the services has ordered its command information to further ensure that all persons and groups engaged in the illegal sales of the notes are identified. Therefore, anyone with useful information relating to these is encouraged to pass the same information to relevant authorities. To the next story, still on fuel hike. There is a massive protest in Benin City over fuel hike. Recall that information residents of Benin City set to protest on the 30th January 2023 over fuel hike. Following the earlier report, residents of Benin has come out in large numbers to massively protest the continuous scarcity of premium motor spirits, PMS, also known as petrol. Information gathered that protesters on Monday morning blocked the ever-busy Sapele Road and Ugo Road, where the University of Benin is located. The youth took to the streets to kick against the outrageous amount they have to part with to purchase fuel for their vehicles, generators, and other appliances, according to the source. To another story from Southwest. A yet-to-be-identified female corpse slated for burial on Saturday has gone missing from the morgue of the Olabisi Onabanjo University Teaching Hospital, Shagamu, Ogun State. A hospital source said the drama started on Friday when the family of the deceased came to the hospital to take the body for burial, only for them to discover that the corpse was no longer in the mortuary. The source said the body, which was brought to the morgue in October 2022, could not be found among 69 other bodies shown to the family for verification. Information also learned that 2 attendants in charge of the morgue fled the premises. The source said the family members of the deceased came from Ijebu-Ode to Shagamu with undertakers and ambulance on January 27, 2023 to claim their corpse for burial, but were surprised to discover that the corpse was not part of the 69 bodies brought out of the morgue for verification. And to the next story, which is coming from foreign. Police officers were among the 33 killed and 150 wounded in the blast at a mosque inside a highly sensitive Pakistani police headquarters on Monday, prompting the government to put the country on high alert. The attack happened during afternoon worship in the provincial capital of Peshawar, close to former tribal areas that border Afghanistan, where the militancy has been steadily rising. A frantic rescue mission was underway at the mosque, which had an entire wall and some of its roof blown out by the force of the blast. Many policemen are buried under the rubble, said Peshawar Police Chief Mohammed Ijaz Khan, who estimated between 300 and 400 officers usually attended prayers at the mosque. Efforts have been made to get them out safely, he said. Bloodied survivors emerged limping from the wreckage, while bodies were ferried away in ambulances as the rescue operation continued. It is an emergency situation. Mohammed Asim Khan, a spokesperson for the main hospital in Peshawar, told AFP the death toll at 33. Lastly, on sports. Roma coach Jose Mourinho has compared Victor Osimhen to Didier Drogba and admits he will buy him if I was at a club with a lot of money. He, however, had a warning for the Napoli striker about Premier League Live. According to Niger footballers speaking at the press conference after Roma's 2-1 defeat at the Stadio Maradona, Mourinho was asked about Osimhen in comparison with the player he worked with at Chelsea, Drogba. Replying, Mourinho said Osimhen is of the same level as Drogba, but Didier didn't dive. If Victor changes, then okay, I would buy him if I was at the club with a lot of money. However, if he does go to England one day, he needs to change because in Italy, they put up with the stuff of behavior, whereas in the Premier League, they would come down hard on you. That ends the world news this hour from BGI TV. Before we go, some major headlines. Buhari to visit after Ganduje's U-turn over economic concerns. There is a general sense of hopelessness under Buhari government, Obasanjo cries out. Southern Nigeria group asks President Buhari to sack Nigeria's central bank governor, Emefiele. Finally, Osimhen, same level as Drogba, Jose Mourinho. For more updates on YouTube, our handle is Bababagide Imo TV. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell, select option all, access our broadcast. On Facebook, Bagide Imo with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. On Instagram, Bagide Imo _22. For advert placement of your goods and services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen for advert placements only. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rebila Lawal. Good evening.
Oh, na, na, na. If you want to know what's going on in city, or you want to listen to the latest news and gist, no stress, oh, just tune to BGI TV. BGI TV, you're one in a million.